So being one of the leaders of men that are out there, I think we should have 100 more Andrew Tates. I don't.
Oh my God!
Why wouldn't you,
bro?
Wait. All right, so I wanted to come back to this video because apparently folks were upset. They're like, you guys did a video on this and it was really short, but you guys didn't cover some of the best parts. And
Yeah, and we called him Mark Manson when his name is Mark Manson.
Because Mark Ronson's reasonable. But okay, you know why I call him Mark Ronson? Because of the DJ. His name is Mark, what's it?
Hi, my name is Mark Miller. Mark Manson.
I'm gonna just call him Mark. You know, Mark, the most generic.
Mark Manson.
So. Raise your flag if you think Andrew Tate is a good influence. Raise it high so we could count.
Net positive.
Guys, raise your hand if you guys think the trafficking guy who's into underage girls is a great. Raise your hand, everybody. Raise your hand. Okay, we got about half of y'all. Great. All right.
Andrew Tate, Coach Greg Adams, Alpharonomy. There's many men in the Manosphere that are spreading a 100% positive message.
You lost me there, my boy.
Let's just stop.
Collaborate and listen. God damn.
A 100% positive message.
100% positive? That's such a crazy fucking statement.
That's a crazy fucking...
He said 100% positive. Like, I could understand if you say, like, you know, they're doing a good overall. But 100% is just nutty to me.
I mean, it's like, what the fuck would I read for you? You've got a fit sister who's 16, maybe.
A 100% positive message.
Muslims have the best frame on earth. I want a virgin wife at 16 who's going to obey me. That's what I want.
A 100% positive message.
I'm fucking all these 15-year-olds.
A 100% positive message.
You know, you said it looks like I'm in a teenage girl's bedroom.
Yeah.
To some people, that would be an insult, but to me, I find that quite flattering, to be honest.
A 100% positive message.
I was contacted by Andrew Tate, the older of the Tate brothers, 3 years ago when I was just 16.
So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck.
A 100% positive message.
100%, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I don't even really include some of the other stuff he said.
100% is certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wow, 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 wow.
So this was on the Full Send podcast, well after he's been famous for a while. And so, you know, this is like the guy who's helping men with the 100% positive, well-intentioned, not a scammer, whatever it is.
The webcam company I was running proved that perfectly. And me and my brother would do all the talking. Ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it, milking them dry. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings.
Do you feel bad or no?
Fuck no. To give you solitary fuck. If you run an alcohol store, a couple of the people you sell to are alcoholics. Do you feel bad?
So he had these people selling their houses, going into debt, fucking up their whole lives. And the reference he goes to is like, if you run an alcohol store, would you feel bad? Yeah, I'd fucking feel bad if majority of my customers, I was taking advantage of them and then I was pushing them to the point where they were dying of alcohol poisoning. If that was an epidemic, it's like, would you feel bad if you were a fucking fentanyl dealer and then your customers were dying of overdose? I hope so. This dude had people selling their houses, frauding them because they weren't even talking to these ladies, right? He was talking to Tate, just wasn't upfront about it. And he's like, do you feel bad? And this guy's 100% positive for dudes. The guy who brags and who's proud of the fact that he took advantage of a lot of men. I don't know.
Men have suffered for years. When you think about the gladiator, when you think about Thomas Edison, and the extremity that you need to focus in on something as a man to create these amazing things that we have in the world. Men have always been extreme. Men have always had a nuclear focus.
Whoa,
well, congratulations, because of how you talk, we can't focus.
Wait, what the fuck? He said men have suffered for years. I was like, okay.
Think about the gladiators and Thomas Edison. My G.
Think about the caveman, the Neanderthal. And then think about
Thomas Edison and Einstein.
Young Philly.
It's okay.
Young Philly and Neanderthals.
We have the Manosphere taking men away from pornography.
Peep it. Y'all ready? He says, we're taking men away from porn, right? Can I ask you, who spends more time around OnlyFans models than Red Pillars and Manosphere guys? Who advertises these people more than them?
Who makes it their business more than them?
Literally nobody else runs a panel with like 10 OnlyFans girls with all their fucking socials in the bio. And don't forget, these girls, when they go on these, they're making money. The reason why they even accept to go...
From who?
From the guys who are hating or doing the super chats.
Or who? people from the red pill community.
Like, how
so
does
you're
that
not
make
really
sense?
taking them away from anything, really. You're still advertising that to them.
Don't think it's just Fresh and Fit. There's other ones who run similar or knockoff versions of that on different ones. So there's a lot of them actually do the exact same format.
You know what the thing is?
Nazi?
The way that they defend the red pill is they defend the idea of what they think it should be.
Sure.
But it's not what it is right now.
100%.
The starting point, the starting goal was we're gonna make man better. We're gonna make them grow. We're gonna make them take care of themselves. In the beginning, it was that. Mm-hmm. What it is right now is not that at all.
It's Busta.
Let's
Busta. What it is right now.
So I've been writing for young men since 2008. Between 2008 and 2013, I coached hundreds of young guys like all the guys here in this circle. It was my career. I care very deeply about finding young men who are struggling and helping uplift them, because I was one of those young men too at one point. And if you're bringing men together to improve themselves, that's amazing. But if you're bringing them together under the auspices that feminism and women are ruining society, and that you have to control a woman to have a relationship with her, that you have to be the dictator in your family, you're setting up these men for failure down the road.
But have men always been the dictators of their family? Men have always led, and that's what we're missing today.
I'll say this again, that's just made up. If you go as far back as whenever time you want in history, women occupied big roles in regards to the house. They were not dictated to. In fact, oftentimes the men would take the back seat when it came to most of the stuff, not just in relation to the domestic stuff, but even in with social relations. Oftentimes, the dudes were gone for long periods of time. You know what it's like when you got to travel on horseback or on foot months and months to go trade in the next city.
Just working the land. You wake up at 5 in the morning.
You need someone to be a fucking head of the house.
You got 21 kids at home. You think you're in the field for 12 to 14 hours. You got 21 kids at home. Yes, the oldest, the elders they're helping, but geez, some of the kids are still popping out the poom poom. Someone needs to take care of that.
Like, I think people really discount how much of a collaborative thing it was, and they need to have this like myopic view of like the man's on top and that's not the reality of households. They never could have worked. And even today, you go to whatever country these niggas want, it don't matter where it is. You go to third world, you go to first world, second world, and you go look at how those houses are run. The dudes are generally the more quiet ones at home, and they defer to their women for a lot of things. Now, that doesn't mean that these guys are all just pushovers. That's not what it is. It's just based off of even traditional gender roles. When you're working all day long, you come home, there's a lot of things you're going to defer to the other person who's at home more often. And in those settings, oftentimes it was the women. You're describing a neck that turns the head. It's no different. The head is still up there. No. I'm telling you that when the woman makes a decision in regards to a lot of things in relation to the house, the men will defer. Not because they're the ones in charge, because they don't really have the authority over that space, so they just let the other person who's more qualified and knows more about it to manage it. That's not someone who's like the neck or the subordinate. That's the person who runs a very important segment of that life, and they're more adept for it. To say it's like having two managers who manage a business together. One's not a subordinate to the other.
That's why we have loneliness. That's why you have time. Men didn't have time to watch years and years ago. That's why men have time to watch today.
That's not true. That's just not true. That's just a blatant lie. Naked depiction of women on caves.
I mean, forget prawn. Y'all realize how popular brothels were. Y'all realize prostitution's always existed. Y'all
there
realize
were towns that were just based on that.
100%. The reason why they call the oldest profession is that men have always made time and had time at every echelon, poor, rich, or otherwise, to go get some cheeks. You know, men having too much time was always a thing, and might not have been prawn per se, but it was still sex-related stuff when it came to the ladies. Someone said he's talking about before the internet, like dirty magazines didn't exist.
What?
Facts.
What?
Facts. That's a fact. I'll tell y'all, before a lot of the advent of the internet, I remember I used to go to the corner store.
Bro.
And there used to be these magazines.
Yes.
They were Playboy magazines, right?
Yes.
And you would see them.
Swamp
It was
was
always like some
popping.
girl with some big ass titties,
Yep.
and she's just always looking at you like this. She's like, come on and buy me. And I know because one day I did buy one. It's the only one I ever had. So, funny story. I had that for like a week before it was put in like a random box in my room. And this is when I was a teenager, so I must have been like 14, 15 at the time. First and only magazine I ever bought. So I moved out of my mom's place. Didn't think much of it. And then I remember years and years later after I came back from the military, she handed me this box, and look what the box was.
You have Dave Chappelle in the corner.
That's how you know this is an old box. This is real. This is real.
Your mama gave you that?
Because it's my stuff.
PlayStation game was that?
So that's GoldenEye.
That's GoldenEye.
I'm the man of good. That's Xenogears, which is one of the most classic RPGs on the PS1. I'm cultured, okay? There's a Dave Chappelle, because everybody, when I was a teenager, everybody owned the DVD for the Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show.
We would go to school and repeat the jokes every day. Then there's obviously GoldenEye, which is the greatest, well, top 5 greatest games on the N64. As far as like a multiplayer shooter, playing with the homies, classic memories. When my mom handed me the box, the magazine was at the bottom, but I obviously sifted through it and I realized the magazine was in there, so I realized where it was from. I got very uncomfortable because the magazine, the problem was that some of the pages were sticky.
Are you cool? It would have cost you $0 to not have said that. You could have kept that to yourself. Not everything is good to share.
But I gotta be me. Someone said, why on the pages? Why do you think? Because I'm ashamed.
Hey! If you didn't get it, it's fine. Let's move on, okay?
So being one of the leaders of men that are out there, I think we should have 100 more Andrew Tates. I don't.
Oh my God!
Why wouldn't you,
bro?
Wait, can I go back to talking about Goonie? Because that was crazy, bro. 100 more Andrew Tates? Well, you know what? Let me not crash out. Let me actually listen to what he's trying to say.
Why don't we need more of that? Why wouldn't you want more Andrew Tates given that message?
I agree with you that we need more voices helping young men. I take issue with the packaging and the persona around it. It's going to backfire for a lot of these men down the road.
Okay, but you know, anytime there's a huge gathering, there's always going to be things that backfire. Nothing's going to be perfect. You know that.
Sure, but it's also, we should call out the thing that's going to backfire, right? It's like, hey, no, that's a little bit too much, man. Like, let's step back.
But how can you call it out if there are men who are benefiting, if there are men who are changing their life, if there are men who were in horrible situations that have...
What?
He's not saying much, but in a suit.
True. With some beautiful eyebrows.
But how can you call it out if there are men who are benefiting, if there are men who are changing their life, if there are men who were in horrible situations that have learned that men suffer, that men go through things? This is somebody who I can look to and borrow their energy and be able to take something positive from.
Why can't you do both? Like, this guy's, he's acting like it has to be mutually exclusive. That's what I mean. It's like, see, this is why I say this is all a teams thing. And I reference back to that video that we did before where that guy said, you know, it's not, all the criticisms of Red Pill or Manosphere have been done before. Really, it's all about community. These people feel like they belong somewhere, and so they protect it no matter what. Doesn't matter if they got clips of Tate saying he takes advantage of men, he's proud. It doesn't matter if he's a trafficker and he diddled kid. It don't matter, any of it. None of that matters to a good portion of them. Not all, some of them do care. Because some of these people are very much in a team mentality. It's why Stiegel might be beefing with some of them now. He didn't have issues with anything they were saying. Now it's about Muslims, which is his team. He's like, I got a problem with you now. It's all teams.
His team of the moment.
Right, so right here he's saying, how could you call it out when my team benefits us? Well, because there's some things that your team is doing that's bad. Why don't you call out your teammates for doing bad things?
Because it's my team.
All that this is tribalism. This is my tribe. My tribe benefits us and me, so I'm going to defend it no matter what. I need 100 more Andrew Tates. I need 30 more traffickers. It don't matter how many underage girls.
A 100% positive message.
My team. That's all that matters.
Alex said there's people who benefited from slavery, the Holocaust, and benefit from trafficking and pushing drugs into the community. Just because a small portion benefit does not mean it's created for society. Yeah. And that's a fact.
You could do that with anything.
And that's a fact.
You could do that with any kind of messaging. You could always say it benefits us, so how could you?
My next surrounded claim is that has done more damage to men than feminism has.
Ooh, has done more damage to men than feminism has.
I tend to agree. Well, first you have to establish what damage that feminism done for men. Then you have to establish all the damages that porn has done. and then you just line them up.
You know what? I'm not well versed enough in either of these to disagree or agree.
But just listen to what they got to say.
I'm like, I just need to think about it.
Abortion kills upward of 1 million Americans every single year. It's 3,000 men, women, and children dead a day, right? If we're talking about comparatively on what's had the greatest impact on taking away manpower from America, have to say, without a doubt, feminism.
If you subscribe to the idea that abortion is murder, then his point makes perfect sense and he would be correct. If you don't, and you subscribe to the idea that being pro-choice basically liberates a lot of women and stops a lot of people from suffering incredibly, then you're going to disagree. So this is a matter of...
I didn't even think about that.
So his point is a good one, depending on how you feel about the topic of abortion. So,
and he came in knowing what he was doing because he was like...
And irrespective of whether or not I agree, at least somebody who came with a decent point.
Exactly.
So you want to highlight it.
Exactly.
That's actually a good point.
I was not expecting to go down the abortion road.
Hey.
I don't see how this relates to like men's mental health and agency in the world.
We're comparing feminism specifically, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To porn.
Yeah.
Yes.
So of course, porn is degenerative as well. I say we get rid of them, both of them, feminism and porn.
Okay.
Definitely. But if we're comparing feminism and the destruction that it's had on men as a whole in America versus porn, we'd have to like say that the lives actually being taken.
Yes, Mark's not getting it, but it's like, okay, well, if there's the X amount of abortions and you believe that that's murder, then you're saying men are literally dying. These young fetuses
Men and women
that are going to be men. So, but no, it's like, because it says, has porn done more damage to men than feminism has? But you would argue, well, because of feminism, because we have pro-choice, all these abortions are leading to men literally dying. So that's
so
that's how Mark not getting it. Yeah.
Obviously, you see abortion as murder.
Absolutely.
So your argument is that the murder of all of the aborted fetuses is vastly outweighs any damage that could ever do.
Yes.
Extremely. Another caveat to that, the feminism comes from the same place. We could talk about that later on a different, we can get more. The same destruction of the nuclear family.
Okay.
Was
because porn has been around for thousands of years.
Let's say the people who own OF right now. Okay. Let's say that the most profound ability to make the America's daughters prostitutes from the young age all the way to the high age, right? On a vast majority. What they say, 35 to 40% of women right now, over 15, over 18, going up into 45, are on OnlyFans right now.
That's not true.
Absolutely ridiculous. But yes, definitely.
I actually have the actual numbers from OnlyFans themselves.
Please give me that.
Yeah, so there are 3.7 million total creators on OnlyFans, 1.1 million in the US. About 90% are women, and only 70% are doing adult material. So that equates to about 700,000 women doing adult material in the US, which is roughly 3% of women between 18 and 40. It's still a lot.
You would say that's more destructive than feminism? When feminism gave you the sexual liberation movement to even empower women to believe that you get some type of power from...
it's more destructive for men than feminism is.
Explain.
So the average male currently first got access to porn when he was 11 years old. By 18, 90% of men are using it regularly or have used it regularly in the past. Men who use porn regularly, you see worse metrics across the board. More likely to be depressed, more likely to have body dysmorphia, more likely to have erectile dysfunction, more likely to commit suicide, more likely to have poor relationships. This is ubiquitous. It's available literally for every young man on the entire planet. I mean, one thing that I would probably agree with you guys is that feminism, there's some good and there's some bad, especially the last 10 years.
Especially the feminism that promoted high body counts being okay and not mattering, right?
Well,
so the same effects of the mental depression, all the other degenerative...
We're back to the body counts, are we?
Because it's extremely important. I'm mad I didn't get up the last one to be able to...
I think it's unfortunate that they're flagging him because I think this guy's probably been the only one out of everyone who's like made some decent points. And I also say he did raise a point. Like, I don't know how much, but if you think about how widely accepted porn is, even the idea that we have a society where OnlyFans openly thrives and was created and, festered in, like that is a result of a form of sexual liberation that allows people to explore these things without some sense of shame, some sense of that. That isn't to say that the other side of that doesn't indulge in, like, the whole brothels or whatever. But I do think there's a bit of a meta aspect to his argument. So the question was, has prawn done more damage to men than feminism has? But the question is, would prawn be what it is today without sexual liberation and feminism?
I have to give it to him. Because his point is really well explained.
Yes.
And exposed.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think of abortion, it's in his perception and in his belief of what abortion is. Then if you take that in effect, then I think he has a valid point.
Yeah.
And he was the only one that was able to really explain it properly. So.
If you take the prompt is, has prawn done more damage to men than feminism has? Forget the whole pro-life, whatever it is. Forget that whole side, okay? If you are admitting that prawn has done a lot of damage to men, the question that he's essentially raising is like, well, doesn't prawn in its current form today only exist to this level because of feminism?
And
if you can't argue against that point, then I think his premise that feminism has done more damage is immediately true based off of you believing that prawn has done a lot of damage to men.
Mm-hmm. I disagree. Start from the sexual liberation. No, it did not. But from what we know it is today, from the acceptation of what it is today, you can't remove, there's a correlation with feminism. There is.
Well, a correlation doesn't mean causation. So they're not causal. It's not causal.
It's not
you
causal.
Can't blame it.
No, you can't blame it 100%. But there is a work that was being done. I'm saying the way he exposes his point is very eloquent, and we can understand his side. And I think he's the only one that was able to do that with consistency.
I think logically what he said tracks. I don't want to get into the whole abortion stuff because that's a whole other topic, but I still think it was a good point because, like I said, if you share his perspective, then what he's saying is correct. Someone said, are you blaming feminism for porn? That's not my point.
No.
My point is there's no doubt that the sexual liberation of women, which, again, I personally think is a good thing, leads to people having more freedom, less judgment to a degree, and so more opportunities to explode. And I don't think the correlative factor between the explosion of people, explosion in porn is crazy, explosion of people being involved in the sex industry and the fact that we've become a more accepting society due to sexual liberation. I don't think that those two factors, you can look at the financial aspect too, that's true. But even the financial aspect, even being so open, even legislatively being accepted, I think those are things that are here because of feminism. Feminism brings us a lot of freedom, a lot of choices for women, and those are good things, generally speaking. But if you're saying that prawn is such a bad thing, that comes with it. The same way you have to look at the red pillars and say, these are some of the backfires and some of the bad things that this movement does. You have to understand that when you give people all kinds of freedom, all kinds of choice, it's like, is giving people choices good? Yes. Does that lead to bad outcomes? Yes. You want to know why? There's even a theory, was it the paradox of choice, I think is what it's called, is the idea that when you have so many options, you freeze because there's too much to choose from. And so it actually makes it difficult to choose at all. All things that come to us and give us such much good can also have negative effects. It doesn't mean that that thing is bad. It just means that it can have a bad effect in some areas, and that's true. If feminism didn't exist, I don't think prawn would be much different today. Do you? Yes, it would. If feminism did exist, do you understand what that means? That women have no agency. You don't vote. You don't have careers. You essentially belong to the dudes. Think about what life was like for ladies pre-1900s. If feminism, I'm saying that point, feminism started before then in regards to a lot of like the suffragettes and stuff, but if you never get that, where do you think you're going to start a career on your own? Where do you think that whole budding industry is going to build itself from? Right? In a hyper-conservative environment where like men dictate all this stuff, do you think a lot of dudes are going to allow their wives to go do this stuff? I don't think so. Am I even giving a hot take here? Is that a hot take?
No.
Do you guys understand what life was like for ladies before feminism existed? Don't think of third wave feminism in the last 10 years. Feminism is an important movement that changed the lives of so many people for a long time. Go to any place on this world where feminism isn't incredibly prevalent and where the economic conditions don't just lead immediately to like a lot of prostitutions. And what you'll see, you don't really have a sex industry in the same way that we have it in North America. They don't have OnlyFans set up the same way. There's some exploitation, don't get me wrong. There's some of the brothels, but it's a different thing. That's why I said not the poor countries, because there are some places where you go to where the economic factor is what drives a lot of the sex work.
My final surrounded claim is that the most attractive men are those who like and respect women.
I believe I agree with that. But what's being preached online is otherwise, and that's what we're seeing as far as like the fantasy side of what women consume, like women is often the vampire, pirate, the 50 Shades of Grey guy. He was a jerk.
Wait, there's like a women prawn that's about pirates? 50 Shades of Grey type. There's one with pirates? What's the one with pirates?
Probably. There's probably some with pirates. It's called smut.
Okay, but so women's like, some of them are fantasizing about some guy be like, "Arg, matey, give me that booty, ma'am." Are you saying there's like, I can understand the vampire thing.
I'll aboard that.
I can understand the 50 Shades of Grey thing. What's the pirate one?
I'll aboard that.
Me and my fellow crew gonna take you to sea and have our way with you.
It's funny because it rhymes. Me and the crew are gonna have our way with you.
Someone said scurvy maxing. One of you dumb fucks said One Piece. Hey, yo, yourself. He said One Piece.
Being that jerk gets you that first date. And if you want to be the nice guy after that, I support that, and that's something you should do.
Can I ask you maybe a somewhat personal question?
Go for it.
Have you ever watched porn that you were like, I would never actually do this?
Yeah.
Me too.
But that's
50 Shades of Grey.
It's true.
I see it, but there is a correlation between the.
To be clear, there's smut of everything.
There's smut of everything.
There's literally smut. People have done one with us. Pause. So that's just a thing.
God.
People make up their own little things and they just.
Guys that are jerks in real life do land that first date.
Yeah, and then they lose the girl. Being a jerk, it kind of feigns confidence, right? Like women have a very finely tuned radar for a guy who is going to be easily pushed over. And so they're generally very attracted by guys who are not easily pushed over, that they have their own thing going on. They're very confident, strong in their own, they believe in themselves. They know what they're doing. They know what they're about. You can convey that same lack of pushoverness without being a dick.
True. When I was younger, I used to hear that messaging all the time, like women want a jerk or whatever it is. I think
nice guys finish last.
Yeah, and I think Mark Manson.
Eminem.
Mark. I think he nailed it. The only nice guys that I ever saw have real tremendous issues were the ones who were pushovers. Either the ones who were pushovers or the ones who were fake nice. They were nice in the sense that they wanted something reciprocal. Their niceness wasn't actually a feature of who they are, but it was a performative act that they would do in order to get somewhere, and then after that they would just switch up. And when they didn't get the things that they wanted, all of a sudden they weren't nice anymore. Like the idea that when you're kind to people, like bad things happen to you, no. It's when you're a pushover and you let people take advantage of you, or you seem like someone who can't assert their own boundaries, that people sometimes lose interest or take advantage of that. If the opposite reaction to that is like, I'm gonna be a jerk and then it's gonna go great, it's like, there's only so much negging you can do before at some point it's like, well, you care about this person, like why are you always trying to lower their self-esteem in order for them to be attracted to you? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to also neg them in front of your family? Are you going to neg them in front of your friends and just constantly put them... At some point it just becomes... I'm not saying you can't banter and joke around, but there's a point where like the whole jerk thing is just like, what's the end goal of this? What are you trying to actually do with the other person if you want them to really stick around?
And the problem with the niceness thing is that the way that they use niceness is extremely transactional. Okay, is that the way that you use niceness with people and you want to be nice with girls is because you expect them to give you booty, pum pum, nyash in return. So it becomes very transactional. It's not real.
Yep.
Well, the deal was not completed. I gave you all this niceness and I don't have no pum pum in return. No, the niceness was just overbearing and it was not real. And you was expecting, you're not nice to be nice. You're nice because you want something and you need something in return. I'm not saying that that's not eventually necessarily going to work, but I mean, the relationship is based on transaction, which is...
I'll give you guys an example. I was with somebody, and at one point I remember opening a door for a lady, and she walked through, and she's like, "Oh, it's so nice of you to open the door for the lady." It was like a little passing comment she made. I was like, I open the door for everybody. I open the door for dudes. I open the door for old people. I open the door for kids. It don't matter. I feel like a dog's trying to pass. I'm like, hey, four-legged nigga, move. Right? I open the door. It don't matter. I just open the door for people. I'm not saying like this some grand act of niceness. I just say it's something I do irrespective. I'm not hoping that like, the lady I'm with notices or a lady notices. It's just like, I guess I would say if you're just nice all the time, then that's different than being a quote unquote, the proverbial nice guy that they talk about in dating. That's a different thing. So, and that's what Preach was describing with the whole transactional nature. That's cool. Like I said, I like to hear different things because at the end of the day, whether you agree or disagree, it's good to make you reflect and see things from a different perspective. So shout out to Mark. That's all I'm going to call him.